How you doing, guys? Thought I'd kick off my first video in light of the new Barnes & Noble Criterion sale that just happened the other day, showcasing some of my Criterions that I have in my collection already. It's a pretty small collection. It's only about 10 or 15 titles, and I just figured it'd be really cool to, before I get my next shipment in, go over what I have already. And without further ado, I guess we'll just hop right into it. First up right here, I have Akira Kurosawa film, Seven Samurai. This was a blind buy, actually. I saw this at a used media store last week. It was only $20, which is actually about $5 cheaper than what it came out to be if I would have snagged it at the sale. Have not watched it yet, so I can't really say much on it, but I've heard nothing but good things, and I know that it's pretty much a staple in anybody's Criterion Collection as far as I've heard. Okay. The same day, I picked up Raisin to the Sun, Sidney Poitier film. I think I watched this back in high school when we read the book in English class. I haven't seen it since, and honestly, at $17.99 when I picked it up used, it was pretty much a no-brainer. So that's that. Next up, I got Night of the Living Dead. I actually bought this, shout out Blues from the Basement, Craig. I bought this off him on Facebook probably like 2 years ago. I've seen this streaming places. I've never actually watched the Criterion itself. And this has probably been sitting on my shelf for like 2 years. So I'm actually pretty stoked. What I'm going to start doing is going through all my unwatched films, starting with the Criterions first. And one by one, I'm going to try to do one a night. I'm going to try to knock out one a night. We'll see how that goes. So yeah, that was Night of the Living Dead. Next up, another blind buy that I still haven't watched is Vampire. This is 1932 film, and from what I've heard, it's Germany's answer to Nosferatu. It's black and white. It's a pretty short watch. It says it's 73 minutes. This is just something I think I have to be in the mood to watch. It's all in German, obviously, so it's something I really have to like put my phone down and commit to watching something like this. That's Vampire. Next up in the collection, I have Lady Vanishes, a Hitchcock film, 1938. Man, the more I go through these, the more I realize 90% of these are blind buys that I have not even seen yet. If you can see right here, $12.99, picked that up from Disc Replay probably a couple weeks ago. I really want to start getting into Hitchcock. I love horror, and I think it'd be really interesting to check out all the horror stuff that Criterion has to offer. And really at $12.99, how can you say no to that? Even at half price, that's still $20 during the sale, and I got it for almost half off that price. Kind of ridiculous. So I'm pretty stoked to check that out. Lady Vanishes. Classic. Speaking of horror from Criterion, we got Rosemary's Baby, 1968. This one is one of my all-time favorite films. I've seen this countless times, and it's not even that scary. It's more of a creepy vibe. It's a slow burn, and it's an anxiety-filled, just creep fest. Love this movie. It's out of print now from what I hear. I looked it up on eBay, and it's going for like 50, 60 bucks. I'm glad I picked this up. I think I snagged this like probably 4 or 5 years ago from one of the Barnes & Noble sales. Absolutely love it. Roman Polanski, genius of a movie director, terrible human being, terrible pedo, great film director. Next up, Five Easy Pieces. I've heard this movie mentioned a couple times on the Misfit Pond Criterion Hunt challenges, on their videos. Really interesting really interested to check this out. Jack Nicholson's one of his first films. I think this was right after Easy Rider. This was 1970, so I think he did Easy Rider, and then they snagged him up for this film. Basically says he's a drifter, oil rigger, former piano prodigy. And yeah, just really cool film. 5 easy pieces. Next up, Fast Times at Ridgemont High. And if you notice, a lot of these have like the little used sticker on them. So most of these I find somehow, I don't know why people are trading these in, but I find these at great prices at my local secondhand media stores. This one is actually about an hour away up in Michigan. It's called Second Chance. If you live up in the Michigan, Portage, Michigan, by Kalamazoo, kinda, definitely recommend Second Chance. Pick this up for $17.99. Classic movie. It's not even old. You know, it's like 30 years old, but this movie, actually, it's 40 years old this year. So that's kind of crazy. But this is an amazing film. So, Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Next up, The Piano Teacher. Maybe I should put these in some kind of order, like spine order or something. I don't know. I'm just kind of going on a whim here. This isn't scripted at all, if you couldn't tell. Piano Teacher. This is a Michael Haneke film. Michael, not sure. Correct me in the comments. I'm sure you'll flame me about it. This was a blind buy I picked up from another local place by me. I paid like $20 for this. This was still sealed about a month ago. And I watched it. It is a super weird film. Basically about a sexually deprived piano teacher. She's like in her 30s. She still lives with her mom. And one of her students like starts like seducing her, and it's just filled with this weird sexual tension, like just super weird, super uncomfortable. But like the more I thought about it and the more I let it like marinate, just like the more I liked it. And it actually, so this was a film first in the 80s, because this movie is like 2001, but it was a film first, or it was a book first, sorry, in the 80s. And I actually just picked that up on Amazon after completing this. It's a real short read. It's like 200 pages. Excuse me. So I'm really pumped to kind of get into that and see what that's about. I heard a lot of the stuff from this film, or a lot of stuff in the book was left out in the film because they didn't know how to like convey it without explaining it too much in the film, so they just left it out. So I'm really excited to check that out and see what kind of the differences are. I like doing that kind of thing. It's a French film. Little over 2 hours long, so it's kind of a longer watch, but I do recommend it if you can find it during the Barnes & Noble half-off sale. The Piano Teacher. Next up, this is a relatively new release, the Uncut Gems 4K. I haven't watched this one either yet. I lied. I watched like half of it on Netflix, and it's a long film too. I think it's 135 minutes, so it's like, you know, nearing the 2.5 hour mark. I can't do math. I think that's 2.5 hours almost. 2:15. Adam Sandler. This is another crazy film. I didn't know what to expect going into this. I watched like half of it, like I said. I haven't watched the 4K yet. But from what I did see, it's really interesting. It's really like a different take on Sandler. And I'm really impressed with his more serious roles. I haven't watched Punch Drunk Love either. I heard Punch Drunk Love is another one of those things that's really different Sandler. Everybody raves about that, but I'm not really into, I don't even know what kind of movie it is. Like romantic comedy, I don't know. Depressing movies, like I don't really want to go into that. I'm not really about that, but maybe that's what I got to start doing. Maybe I got to start expanding my Sandler, because I'm used to like Billy Madison and, you know, Happy Gilmore, stuff like that. Those kind of Sandler movies that everybody kind of rags on, but those are the things I grew up on. So, but yeah, that's Uncut Gems. Excited to check that one out. Videodrome, Cronenberg classic. I picked this up probably like 4 years ago too, from one of the Barnes & Noble sales. I love this movie, man. It is so creepy. It is so out there. It is so wild. Pretty short watch. It's under an hour and a half. Early 80s horror, Cronenberg classic. All I'm going to say, if you haven't seen it, all I'm going to say is Flesh TV. Wait till the end. Flesh TV. That's all. Check it out. Videodrome. Repo Man, another classic 80s film on Criterion, 1984. It's a short hour and a half watch. Emilio Estevez, man, what can I say? This movie's crazy. It's got this like punk vibe to it. Very cool movie. And look at this art, man. Oh, look at that, my little cat. That's Toby. Just checking out what I'm doing. He doesn't even know what's going on. Yeah, man, but check out that art. That's just some crazy, like, what is that? That is nuts. That is so cool. Comes in this nice little slip box. Really cool. It's like digipack kind of thing. It's got this like little booklet with it. Really neat. It's good for some toilet reading. I don't know. Anybody actually read those little inserts? I don't know. Pretty cool though. That is Spine 654. Repo Man. Pan's Labyrinth Criterion. Look at this. Still in the package. Still sealed. Barnes & Noble tag. Still on it. I picked this up. Don't get me twisted. I would never pay $40 for a movie. Don't get me twisted. I lied. I will never pay $40 for a Criterion. I've paid over $100 for Scream Factory titles. We won't talk about that, though. Don't get it twisted. I picked this up like 5 years ago, probably, from the Barnes & Noble sale. Yeah, man. This movie's great. I've only seen it one time. Classic. 2006. Not that old. I had the regular Amaray. I remember when I bought this, which is why I never opened this. And then I ended up selling the Amaray on eBay for like 20, not even 20 bucks. When I say I paid 20 bucks for this. I sold the Amaray for like $10. And it's kind of just sat on my shelf. And then I remember they announced the 4K. And I was going to pick that up. So I was like, ooh, I'll keep it sealed. Maybe I'll just sell it off. I can get like 20 bucks for it, right? Sealed, still at least $20 for it. But then when the 4K was released, I heard nothing but negative things. I mean, everybody crapped on that movie when the 4K came out. So I was like, nah, you know what? I'm not going to pick that up. Here we are. Still have it. Still sealed. We're going to crack this open hopefully this week, man. Hopefully. Like I said, I have like 10, 15 titles. And I'm going to try to knock out one a week. I'm sorry, one a night. Pan's Labyrinth. There we go. Oh, man. One of my favorite movies of all time. The Breakfast Club. I am so stoked that this had a Criterion release. This is beautiful. This is an ode to my teenage years, an ode to my childhood, everything. I grew up watching this. I absolutely love this movie. Everything about it, every character is so relatable. And it just spoke to me, man. And this is just such a good release. It has so many good special features. I could watch this literally every day and never tire of it. I could put this on in the background for just noise. John Hughes, terrific filmmaker. Incredible. That's The Breakfast Club, man. Bender, smoke 'em if you got 'em. Incredible. Last up in the collection, I have Election. Late 90s comedy. Matthew Broderick. What is it? Drew Barrymore, right? Reese Witherspoon. Why did I say Drew Barrymore? I'm not a cinephile. Don't take my word for it. Reese Witherspoon. This is pretty good. I'm going to be honest with you. I mainly picked this up. I don't even think... I've seen this movie like 2 or 3 times since I bought it. Honestly, I think I picked it up as a blind buy solely based on just this cover art. Based on just this like bright yellow cover art. And it just looks so cool. But yeah, it's a good movie. I like it. I probably give it like a 3 out of 5. Speaking of 3 out of 5, go ahead and follow me on Letterboxd at chrisoffthewall. You probably know me from Instagram too. But yeah, I've logged, speaking of Letterboxd, I've logged every single film since I started my Letterboxd account in 2016. So what is that, 6 years? So for 6 solid years, I've cataloged every film that I've seen. So yeah, go check that out. Go give me a follow back. Election with Matthew Broderick. Spine 904. So that was it. You know, I got, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. It looks like 14. I got 14 Criterions. Here's just some of them. Yeah, and I have... When was that Criterion sale? Was that Tuesday that Criterion sale happened? So I limited myself to $100 for that Criterion sale. So I do have 5 films coming, pretty stoked about that. I just got the email today, actually, the confirmation email saying they were shipped out. So those will come, they say within 4 to 7 business days, but it's also said priority mail, which priority mail is like 3 days. So that'd be super cool if they showed up. Today's Friday. If they showed up early next week, I'd be very stoked about it. I will make a separate video about that. We won't talk about what I ordered yet. But yeah, I'm pretty stoked for that. I think I'm gonna dive more. If you look behind me here, I got like 600 Blu-rays going. Don't mind me just watching Quantum Solace 4K behind me. Anyway, I got like 600 movies. I got them all cataloged on the Bluray.com app. I need to start watching all my unwatched films. I have like over 200 unwatched films. It's just getting crazy out of hand. But anyway, I'm going to dive more into Criterions, I think. And yeah, man, that's pretty much it. Like I said, it was my first video. I hope you guys liked it. Comment, like, subscribe, all that stuff. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what your favorite Criterion is. Let me know. You know, I'm relatively new to Criterions, seeing as I don't have that many. Tell me what, in your opinion, what the #1 must-have Criterion title is for any collector's collection. And maybe I'll pick it up next Barnes & Noble sale. What's that, July, I think? So it's not too far away. But yeah, comment down below. Let me know what your must-have Criterion would be. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you watching. Like I said, like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. Brand new channel. It'd be cool if I could just, you know, talk about movies here every few days and interact with you guys. It's kind of my goal. So I appreciate your attention. All right, guys. Appreciate it. Peace.